Hi everyone. So today I just wanted to come on here and do some comparisons of some of my favorite flat paddle style blending brushes, eye blending brushes. So the first one we'll start with is the Sonia G Worker 2. And this is Saikoho goat hair, and it's 15 millimeters in length. And as you can see, this is a really thick eye blending brush. Very, very dense. So this brush is really good with cream and liquid shadows. What I love about this shape in particular for all these brushes that I'm going to show today is they're very versatile. So I feel like you could do one eye look, almost an entire eye look with these style brushes, because not only can you blend color in the crease, you can build up color in the crease, and if you really wanted to, you could even smoke out the lower lash line with these style brushes. So they're really nice shapes to have in any Fude Lovers collection. And the next one here is the Sonia G Worker 3. This is 14 millimeters in length. And we'll compare it to the Worker 2. And the Worker 3 is just 1 millimeter shorter than the Worker 2. Very similar shape, but the Worker 3 is thinner, so it's not as dense. But honestly, the Worker 3 is one of my favorites in my collection because I do have smaller eyes. So this size and density for me is just perfect because it's not too thick, it's not too big, and I really love this brush. Very versatile. And I did notice before making this video that the Worker 2 and Worker 3 are currently out of stock, so I don't know when Sonia will be restocking these, if she ever will. I'm pretty sure she said there's going to be some brushes coming back, but they'll be in the Pro handles, so instead of this thick handle, it'll be the Pro handle like this one. So hopefully she does bring them back because they're really beautiful, very soft. And we've got the Sonia G Worker Pro. And the Worker Pro is, let's see, 14 millimeters in length. So it's the same as the Worker 3. But you can see the shape is different. So the Worker Pro kind of domes off, whereas the Worker 3 is a little bit more square. And the Worker Pro definitely has more fluffiness to it. So it's got a little bit more movement to the bristles. So even though they all look similar head on, here they are next to each other. And the Worker Pro has that more diamond taper to it, which I personally love because you can really get in the crease very nicely. And then the next brush we have is the Hakuhodo J5523. And this is a very, very popular brush in most Fude Lovers collections. This one is 16 millimeters in length. Mine is well loved. I could actually honestly get a backup of this brush. It was actually one of my very first Hakuhodo brushes I ever brought into my collection, and it's just really lovely. Very soft, and this one has a lot of movement because it is a little bit more fluffy. Like if we compare it to the Worker Pro, it is longer. And then if we compare it to the Worker 3, and it is longer than the Worker 3. And if we compare it to the Worker 2, and Sonia's numberings can mess me up sometimes. Or the coating on the brushes, sometimes they sound so similar. Even though I've had them in my collection for so long, I sometimes lose track. So I'm glad she labels her brushes. It's very helpful. The next brush, unfortunately, is no longer available, is the Goss 18. And this brush is 15 millimeters in length. And this is another brush I've had for a very long time in my collection. Really popular shape, very, very similar to the Hakuhodo 5523. In fact, I believe, yeah, the Goss is just 1 millimeter shorter than the Hakuhodo 5523. So really not by much, but the Goss does fluff out a little bit more. I really wish Wayne would bring his brushes back. I know so many people think the same, like, why? I mean, his holiday brushes were amazing. All of his brushes are just such staples, and it's such a shame. I honestly wish I bought backups of those because they really are beautiful, beautiful brushes and just so well crafted. So it is a shame, but it's good to have other options that are similar, especially the Hakuhodo J5523. So it is a good option for those who missed out on Wayne's brushes. But this is truly one of my favorite eye brushes in my entire collection. So this is the Takeda 10 European Dressed Canadian Squirrel. And this is 13 millimeters. So this is smaller in length than the other brushes that I'm showing today. But super soft, like incredible. And because I have smaller eyes, I can really pack on deeper shadows in the outer crease and blend it. And it still has beautiful movement to the bristles. Oh my gosh, I love this brush. This is a brush I could definitely get a backup of, especially with eye brushes. It's good to have backups, but I will say what's really nice about their Canadian Squirrel is, of course, the softness, but they're just so smooth because it's European dressed. There's nothing like it. So anybody who has sensitive eyes would really love Takeda's European dressed Canadian Squirrel. And it's really sad that these bristles are becoming more and more scarce because they really are just so luxury. And with this shape and size, you could also pack shadow on the lid with this as well. I use it as a blender personally just because I love it. And I've used it for shadow on the lower lash line just to kind of smoke everything out, blend it together. But just to compare it, so this is with the Worker 2. And you can see the Takeda is shorter. And I just love it for that reason, honestly, because I have smaller lids. Here it is next to Worker 3. And then we've got the Worker Pro. The Worker Pro is just 1 millimeters. Looks pretty similar. Yeah, just 1 millimeter shorter. And then the Hakuhodo J5523. And then the Goss 18. Love, love, love that brush. And the next brush is the Hakuhodo G5523. So this is the blue squirrel version of the Hakuhodo J5523. Unfortunately, this is another brush that is no longer available in the all squirrel version. Now they do make it with synthetic mixed in. Hakuhodo does say that it's a very small amount of synthetic, but I cannot speak on that one because I have the all natural hair version. But this is another really, really beautiful brush, very soft. This is another one where you can pack shadow on the lid. You can use it as a blender. Very, very versatile shape. And I'll compare it with the Hakuhodo J5523. And if I didn't mention, the G5523 is 16 millimeters, so it's the same length as the Goat version. And you can see the way Goat really does bloom out compared to Blue Squirrel. It is a lot fluffier. And of course you cannot use Squirrel with creams or liquids, so that's another thing to consider. But beautiful brush. It's a shame Hakuhodo's mixing their bristles with synthetic now. Again, I can't speak on them. They may be really good and I just haven't tried them. But it is really nice. I feel very lucky to have the all Squirrel version in my collection. Now the last brush is the Koyudo Medium Eye White Canadian Squirrel brush. Now mine is dirty. I've used it recently, so normally it has that beautiful white tips to the bristles, so don't mind mine. It's very dirty because it is well loved, but this is 14 millimeters in length, so really lovely brush. This is another one that's just, you could use it to pack shimmer, use it in the crease, deepen the outer V, and it's just got really nice movement to the bristles. Very, very soft, and it's got very good blending power. And that's what I really love with White Canadian Squirrel, is it's not like Blue Squirrel to where it doesn't have as much blending power. It really is very soft, but it has that resiliency similar to Goat, which I really love. And I can see why so many people love White Canadian Squirrel for that specific reason, because the blending power is just really, really nice. And it doesn't skimp on softness. Here it is next to the Takeda 10 European Dress Canadian Squirrel. And the Koyudo is just 1 millimeters more longer in length than the Takeda. These are probably both of my favorite in this video that I'm posting, these two right here. Granted, you cannot use them with creams or liquids because they are Squirrel brushes, but I personally do not use creams and liquids that often, so for me, it's really not a big deal. I prefer to have something that feels luxurious on the eyes, and those two brushes really do, so. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I wanted to finally showcase some eye brushes on my channel. As you can tell, cheek and face brushes really bring me the most joy, and they're the ones that I really love talking about the most, but I just wanted to give some quick comparisons. If anybody has any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.